Hi everybody! So I had a request from one of my hostesses to do an eyeshadow tutorial. So I'm going to keep it very basic, kind of a look that I would wear to work, nothing too flashy, just something to kind of enhance your natural features, make your eyes look a little more awake, a little bigger, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to do one eye, just the eyeshadow, and kind of show you the techniques and the placements for the different colors. So the colors I'm going to be using are Sexy. This is one of my favorite ones. It's really versatile. It's a really pretty, I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see the color. It's kind of like an iridescent nude type color. It's really shiny. It's really pretty. Yeah, I can't really get it to show up very well. But it's really nice, and then when you make it wet, it turns into a really nice color. Like, I just really like it. If you use it dry, it's really great for a highlight under the brow. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with my highlight. Let me get my brush here. So the brushes I'm going to be using for my look today is the crease brush. Can you read that? No. It's all blurry. There we go. Crease brush, which is great. It's a really dense brush. All of our brushes are cruelty-free, so they're super high quality synthetic fibers. You can rinse them with water. They don't rust. They're really, really nice, and I love this brush. I see it's like super dense, so it's great for blending and shading and really molding your crease to make your eyes look a lot bigger. For my highlight, I'm going to be using a deluxe brush. Another nice brush. It's one of the bigger eye brushes. It's fluffy. It's really soft, really fluffy. Really lays down the colors nice and smoothly. And then my favorite brush of all time, the liner shader brush. This brush is great. If you have to have one eye brush, get this one. It's smaller. The tip is smaller than the deluxe brush, but it's still the same type. It's a little more dense, but you can use it for eyelid application as well as highlight and blending. It's really great. And then the liner brush is the best liner brush I've ever used. The bristles are so soft, but they're so dense and narrow that you can really get a nice fine line. So I use it for eyeshadow all the time. I mean eyeliner sometimes. I don't want always like a harsh line, so even if I use a pencil or if I use my pigments as shadow, I'll go over it to kind of soften the line, make it look a little more natural, like for work, which is what I'll do today. So I'm going to start with my deluxe brush. I'm going to take some of my Sexy eye pigment. I'm just going to leave it dry, and I'm just going to apply it under my brow and in the inside corner of my eye. Makes your eyes look more awake. And normally I would already have done my face and everything. I just got off work. I'm not getting all particular right now. I just washed my face. So I'm just going to show you an eye. Next, I am going to take my liner shader brush. I'm actually going to make it just a little bit wet. I'm going to use the same color, Sexy again, but you'll see the difference when it's wet. You can see dry. It's just kind of shiny, iridescent under my brow there. You can kind of see it there. So I made it wet, so you can already tell the difference. And this is I just made my brush damp with a drop of water. I actually need a little more. I always am on the cautious side. I don't like it too wet, but it just takes a little playing with. But pretty much a drop of water is the ideal amount, at least for me. So it turns into basically a cream shadow when any of our pigments do when you make the wet. See, look at that. Isn't that crazy? So it's a really versatile color because you can use it in so many different ways. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my lighter shade, whether it be Sexy or any other shade that you want to use. I usually go with a highlight, a shade for my lid, which is usually a light to a medium shade, And then I usually use a darker shade in my crease and on the outside V out here. Sometimes if I'm getting really fancy, I'll use a fourth color and use an even darker shade on the outside V and a medium shade in the crease. It just depends on what I feel like doing and how much of a fancy look I want to go to. So you can really tell that it's two different colors. I mean, this is I have poor lighting in here, but see, it's so much more pigmented than it is up here where it's dry. And so all of our pigments are so versatile and I just love it. So next I'm going to use my crease brush. For my crease, my preference is just that I use the pigments dry. I like it to be more natural and soft, but that's just my personal style. You can use them wet, dry, in between, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, it's your look. That's what's great about these products, is that you can really make it your own. So I'm just going to start, I kind of just draw a line almost, really lightly, and I just started with the tiniest bit on my brush, because just, I mean, this was like a tiny little fleck of the pigments. Just a little bit just goes such a long way. And this color is called Confident. It is one of my favorite darker color. It's like a medium brown, and it just goes, like every other pigment I have, it really works in the crease with. Like, it just goes with every one of them. And for me, I don't like the super, super dark. I use the really dark ones as liners. That's just my preference. Some people can really rock those dark colors. I just prefer a more natural look. So what I'm doing here is I kind of applied. I go all the way over on the crease. I kind of go just slightly above my crease because I have small eyes. So it really makes my eyes look a lot bigger, see? Just kind of gives you a nice shadow, and I kind of draw a line. And I blend then about a third of the way into my lid, covering up some of the lid color. And it just really helps to make your eyes pop. Next, I just always like to go back over with a little bit of my lid color, just to help blend a little more. I'm big into blending. You don't have to blend, you can have like defined looks, and sometimes when I'm using some of the colors, I don't want to blend them all together, but since these are neutrals and I'm just kind of trying to, you know, accentuate what's already there, I don't really want it to, you know, blend together. So next, for my liner, I'm going to actually use one of the eye pigments. I'm using Corrupted. It's a really nice, it's almost like a gunmetal type color, like a super, super dark gray, and it's a matte pigment, so it works great as a liner. I just, again, I'm getting my brush wet. I mean, I barely wet it. I don't know if you can tell. It's just like a drop. Seriously, just like an eye droplet. I put just a couple little specks of the color in here because I really don't need much at all. See, it turns into a nice cream when you make it damp. And I'm just gonna apply my liner. I personally only apply liner most of the time to my top lid. And again, that's just because I have super tiny eyes. I have those almond-shaped eyes. So I found that when I apply it to the bottom, it makes my eyes look actually smaller. I know a lot of people, it just really depends on your eye shape and what kind of look you're going for. I've had to play with it for a long time just to see what works for me. I always wing my liner just a tiny little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. See how nice and just smooth and natural. Eyeliner, whether you're using eyeshadows or you're using the pencils, which are also wonderful, I use those all the time too. It really helps to, even without mascara, it just really helps to thicken up that lash line. See, I'm not even wearing mascara yet, and just, you can see how much thicker and fuller my lashes look. It also really helps define the shape of your eyes. So this was just a little eyeshadow tutorial for my basic everyday work look. Tasteful, simple,
If you're like me, I'm a nurse, so I can't, they prefer that we wear understated type cosmetics and hairstyles and stuff like that. So makes me feel great, makes me feel confident, just makes me feel like I'm enhancing my natural features. Now when I go out, I get crazy with those colors sometimes, and it's a lot of fun too. So whatever your style, Younique has something for you. So just check it out. If you have any questions, just send me a message or comment under this post. I'd love to answer your questions. Good night.